Well, good morning and welcome to Harrington Field here at Brook Hill High School, home of the Guard. We got tournament action here, and the Pine Tree Pirates taking on the Malakoff Tigers. Pine Tree, the home team here for this 9:30 matchup, and Malakoff, the visiting team. On the mound, pitching, well, I can't read that name. That ball's popped up to the right side of the infield, shallow right field. Going back to catch it there is our second baseman for the Pirates. Appreciate you joining us here on NETsn this morning for this tournament. First game of the tournament. This Brook Hill tournament will be going on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. This is game number 1. A pickoff attempt at first. The runner's back. Mike Jones up to bat for Malakoff. He wears number 12. He'll play shortstop this morning. 0-0 just underway. That ball misses just a tad. It'll be ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to the Malakoff shortstop. Runner on first is Corey Phillips. He reached with a leadoff single. Pitcher comes set, checks the runner multiple times. Here's the pitch. High, runner goes for second. He is hosed. He is out at second base. Nice throwdown from our Pine Tree catcher right there. Number 7, McMillan. So McMillan hoses the runner there at second base, Corey Phillips. 2 balls and no strikes to Mike Jones. There's 2 away here in the top of the first inning. Swing and a miss on that outside pitch. It'll be strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 away here in the top half of the first inning. That one's fouled off behind the plate. Strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away. Pine Tree looking to get out of this inning. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that'll do it for the top half of the first inning. We'll be right back. You're listening to baseball here on NETsn. We'll go with Kate's. Welcome back here to Harrington Field on the campus of Brook Hill High School. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0 between Pine Tree and Malakoff. Pine Tree coming up to bat now. It'll be Gidden, Aranda, and McMillan. The 1-2-3 for Pine Tree here in the bottom half of the first inning. On the mound pitching for Malakoff, Jackson Jedlicka, as he fires in ball number 1. 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch hits the inside corner for strike number 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Gidden, the shortstop for the Pirates. Jackson, the 1-1 pitch. That nearly hit him, but it's going to be ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. That one's hit towards left center field, converging on it in the outfield, and it's going to be caught by the center fielder out there, number 1, Corey Phillips. So Phillips snags that one in for out number 1. 1 away, bottom of the first inning, still tied at 0. And the third baseman for the Pirates, Aranda, stepping into the box. First pitch, squaring around a button. That hits him in the left leg. So he's going to get on with a hit by pitch right there. And that'll put a runner at first base. And it'll bring up the catcher, number 7, McMillan. So a runner on first now for Pine Tree. The last at-batter, Jackson, nearly hit him. And this time he did hit him. Puts a runner on first. So 1 on, 1 away. First pitch into McMillan for strike number 1. Jackson checks the runner at first. Aranda comes set. The pitch to McMillan. Nice breaking pitch inside, and we got a pickle. We have a pickle. Malakoff trying to chase down Aranda. Ooh, a little shove to the back to Aranda. And he's out for out number 2. Aranda got a little too far off that first base bag, and the catcher behind the plate, Loden Jameson, was able to throw down to the first baseman, McNaughton, who then threw back to Mike Jones at short, and Jones tagged him out. So Aranda retired, and we have 2 away now. And an 0-2 count. That's a close one, but it's going to be ball number 1. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to McMillan, the catcher for Pine Tree. 2 away here. Nearly caught the outside corner of the plate, but instead it will be ball number 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one's popped foul and out of play. Hope I parked far enough away so my car doesn't get hit. I saw the signs that Brook Hill has up here in the parking lot that says foul ball territory, park at your own risk. And I took that risk. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Inside corner called, strike 3. And that'll do it for the first inning. At the end of 1, it is 0-0 between Malakoff and Pine Tree. We'll be back. You're listening to live high school baseball coverage on NETsn. excited about doing it. It's new teams to see. I heard Central Heights is pretty good though, or they've been historically good. Yeah. I think they won state like in 2017, and then obviously Malakoff won a couple of years ago. So good programs. Yeah. All right, back here at Harrington Field in Brook Hill, getting ready to begin the top half of the second inning. And it's a first pitch ball. It's a leadoff hitter for Malakoff for this inning, the number 4 hole hitter, Jason Tennyson, the left fielder. My man loses his hat. Cates loses his hat on the mound as he throws that one. 2-0 count now. 2 balls and no strikes. Cates pitching for Pine Tree. He's behind in the count to Tennyson. 2 balls, no strikes. That one misses. High for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes to Tennyson. See if he takes here or he's given the green light. 3-0 pitch. And ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to begin the top of the second inning. And that'll put a runner at first base for the Tigers. And they'll bring up to bat the pitcher, Jackson Jedlicka, with a runner on first base and nobody out. Tennyson gets his lead from first. Cates checks the runner, squaring around to bunt, and a foul ball on the bunt. It'll be strike number 1. Bad job by me before the game of trying to get lineups, so I'm trying to fill these out as I'm going along. It'll get smoother, I promise. First baseball game of the year for me. I got to get into the rhythm. I've been doing basketball. Got to get to the baseball rhythm. 0-1. Squaring around the butt again. And a throw down to first nearly goes into the right field area. But instead, it'll be 1 ball and 1 strike now to the Malakoff pitcher. Cates looks at his wristband to get the pitch call. Tennyson gets his lead from first. He walked on 4 pitches. Pickoff attempt. He's right back in. One ball and 1 strike. Another pickoff attempt to first, but Tennyson dives back in. All turf field here at Brook Hill. Gorgeous facility. 325 down each line, 370 to center field with an extended wall up top. The 1-1 pitch from Cates. Squaring around, bunting again. It is going to be bunted. Cates is going to field it, fires to first, gets him out at first base. Very close play at first. But Jackson was thrown out. He did advance Tennyson over to second base, though, so he did his job on the sacrifice. A 1-3 put out for out number 1. It'll bring up the designated hitter now, Gus McGee, with a runner at second base and 1 away. Cates comes set to McGee. Big swing and a miss from McGee for strike number 1. No balls, 1 strike to Gus McGee. Cates, the 0-1, misses outside for ball number 1. Runner on second base is Jason Tennyson. He led off the inning with a walk on 4 pitches and sits out there at second after a sacrifice from pitcher Jackson. The 1-1 pitch, no, a pickoff attempt towards second, but Tennyson back in there. Concerned with Tennyson's speed out there on the bases. One ball, one strike. Cates, the delivery. It's hit back towards him. Cates fields it, fires to third to get Tennyson, and he's out. Heads up play by Cates on the pitcher's mound. The ball was hit right back to him, and he fired it over towards third to get Tennyson for out number 2. So McGee will reach on the fielder's choice. But now there are 2 away here in the top half of the second inning. And just a runner on first base. And now stepping into bat, Loden Jamison, the catcher for the Tigers. And he takes strike number 1. So Malakoff had a runner in scoring position, but was thrown out after the fielder's choice. The 0-1 pitch to Jamison. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes now to Jamison. Cates looking to get out of this inning with no damage done. Cates comes set. The 0-2 pitch. It's high. Ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes now to the catcher for the Tigers, Loden Jamison. His first at bat of the afternoon. The morning. Feels like afternoon. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Cates sets Jamison down, and the Tigers strand a runner on first. We'll head to the bottom of the second inning, and we're still tied at 0. You're listening to high school baseball here on NETsn. Back here in Brook Hill, where strike 1 is taken to Cates, the pitcher for Pantry. Inside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike now. As we get ready to begin play here in the bottom of the second inning, still tied at 0. Swing and a miss for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cates. The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. So down on strikes goes Cates for out number 1. And it'll bring up the first baseman, Bush. Bush hits that one right back up the middle, and it's going to go into center field for a 1-out single for Bush. First pitch swinging, hits it right back from where it came, and Bush will reach first base with 1 away. And it'll bring up the second baseman. You're going to have to forgive me on these names. I can't read it very well. Dogberg? I'm not sure. He squares around to bunt. Ball gets away from the catcher. Going over towards second is Bush, and he's going to swipe second base. The ball got away from the catcher just a little bit. And Jameson couldn't find it, so the runner advances over to second base. Squaring around to bunt. Doesn't make contact, so 1 ball and 1 strike now to the Pine Tree second baseman. Getting a talkative from his coach over there. Pine Tree looks like they're trying to play a little small ball and unable to lay down the bunt. Let's see if that same call is on here in a 1-1 count. One ball, 1 strike, runner at second base. 1 away. That bunt fouled off. So strike 2. Now he's got to have to swing away here with Bush out at second base. Jackson comes set on the mound. The 1-2. That's high. Ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one's a called strike 3. Third strikeout of the morning for Jackson Jedlicka. That one's looking for out number 2. Now it's going to bring up the center fielder Nafrati for Pine Tree with 2 away now and a runner at second base. Still a 0-0 game. First pitch is swung on and missed for strike number 1. Quickly, Jackson comes set, loses his lid as he fires that one in. It's fouled off, strike number 2. It's already no balls and 2 strikes to the center fielder for the Pirates. Jackson wasted no time out on the mound. The 0-2 pitch. Ooh, looked good. But it is ball number 1. So 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Jackson checks the runner. The 1-2 pitch. Fouled back to the net. And it'll remain 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jackson set on the mound for the 1-2. Swung on and missed strike number 3. So it wasn't 3 up, 3 down, but it was 3 strikeouts for Jackson Jedlicka in that second inning. It's going to do it for 2 innings of play here at Brook Hill, the home of the Guard. We're headed to the 3rd inning between Malakoff and Pine Tree, tied at 0. You're listening to baseball here on NETsn. Back here at Harrington Field on the campus of Brook Hill. Game one of this Brook Hill tournament this week. And we got Malakoff and Pine Tree starting things off, and it's still 0-0 as we head to the top half of the third inning. First pitch into Judson McNaughton, the first baseman for Malakoff, is high for ball one. It's the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. McNaughton, Holyfield, and Phillips due up for Malakoff here in the top of the third. That one's ripped towards the 5-6 hole on the left side of the field. And that is going to be a leadoff single for Judson McNaughton to begin this third inning. So a good start here in the third for Malakoff. Puts a runner at first, and it brings up the 9-hole hitter, Caden Holyfield. He plays right field. Cates comes set on the mound, getting ready to deliver his first pitch to Holyfield. Holyfield swings, hits that one towards left field. Skinner camps under it and squeezes it for out number 1. So 1 away here in the top half of the third inning after the fly out to left field. And it's going to bring up top of the order, center fielder Corey Phillips for Malakoff. He reached base with a single back in the first inning. And he takes the breaking ball high for ball number 1. So 1 ball, no strikes. McNaughton, the runner at first base. That one swung on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gotta give a shout out to my man Conrad. Conrad Barr is tuned in. Also, Colton the Chop Sneed is tuned in. So thank you all for joining the game here this Thursday morning. That one misses outside for ball 2. They got the game up on YouTube, they said. I like it. Lets me know it's working at least. Nothing wrong with a little baseball on a Thursday morning. 2 balls and 1 strike to Phillips. Cates the pitch. That catches the outside corner for strike number 2. Phillips making Cates work a little bit here in the top half of the third inning. Since this is a tournament, doesn't necessarily have to play the 7 innings. There will be a time limit if they reach it. And I'm probably giving it the good old announcer jinx, but this game is moving pretty smoothly so far. That's swung on and missed. Strike 3. Throw down to first to get McNaughton. Very close. They're going to say that that McNaughton got back, but that was extremely close. But it's another strikeout. And that will be out number 2. So 2 away now. And in steps the second baseman, Jake Husted. With 2 away and a runner on first. Cates, first pitch, popped up high in the infield. And it looks like Gidden at short's going to get into the second baseman's way and make that catch for out number 3. So Malakoff strands a runner on first base. And we're going to head to the bottom of the third inning, still tied at 0. Back here at Harrington Field in Brook Hill as we begin the bottom of the third inning. It's the 8-9-1 due up for Pine Tree here in the bottom of the third, and Skinner takes ball 1 inside and ball 2 inside. So a 2-0 count to Skinner, the left fielder, leading things off here for Pine Tree in the bottom of the third inning. 2-0 pitch inside, nearly hits him again. And ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes to Skinner. Jackson Jedlicka has been pitching a pretty good game here so far. And he puts that one on the outside corner for strike number 1. The 3-1 is bunted down the first base side, but it's going to go foul. Interesting, a bunt attempt on a 3-1 count. Now it's a full count with nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning. Our next game coming up will be the same Pine Tree Pirates. They'll be taking on the Central Heights Blue Devils around 11:45, so stick around for that. We'll have that game live as well. And my man Keith Whitman will be up here this afternoon, evening, as well as tomorrow afternoon and evening and Saturday to bring you all these games of this Brook Hill tournament. Full count. That's hit right back up the middle, and it's going to be a single for Skinner. So Skinner reaches first base on the full count, and it'll be a leadoff single here in the bottom of the third that Jackson will now have to deal with on the mound. In steps the 9-hole hitter, Brown, the right fielder for Pine Tree, with 1 on and nobody out. He squares around to bunt, does bunt that one. Jackson's going to move to his left, field it, fires to first, and gets out number 1. But Brown does sacrifice himself to move Skinner over to second base, and it brings up the top of the order. So not a bad job there. Good job of laying the bunt down. And so now a runner at second base with 1 away, and in steps the top of the order, Gidden, the shortstop. He flew out to center field his first at bat, and that's a balk. A balk called on Jackson Jedlicka, and it will advance Skinner over to third base now. So a balk by the pitcher. It's still early in the season too, trying to get some rust off. That one nearly hits the batter. Good job of blocking it behind the plate by Jamison. Keeps it in front of him. Ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Jackson comes set. The pitch just missed the inside corner there. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. With the runner on third. Just 90 feet away. This is the closest any team has gotten to scoring this morning. Big swing and a miss for strike 1. It's what we call a daddy hack that he just did there from Gidden. Came up empty, though, so it's a 2-1 count. The pitch, Gidden squares around, but it's an inside pitch, and it's ball 3. So Jackson in danger of putting him on and having runners on the corners. I guess that would set up a double play. 3 balls, 1 strike. That's hit towards left center field, shallow left center field. Going back and making the catch is Jones, and it was not hit far enough for the runner at third to tag up Skinner. So Jones goes back into shallow left center field, makes the grab for out number 2, and Skinner forced to hold at third base. So a fortunate break there if you're Malakoff, that ball wasn't hit deeper where Skinner had a chance to score. Now stepping in is Aranda. He was hit by a pitch. His first at bat back in the first inning. Squares around to bunt. He does. Jackson fields it. Goes home. The play at the plate. He's safe. Oh, that was an interesting play there with 2 away. Probably should have just went to first base. He thought he was close enough, though, to get the runner out at home, but Skinner comes home and gets our first run of the game. Pine Tree takes a 1-0 lead on a RBI single, really, by Aranda as he gets that one in. Close play at the plate. I understand what Jackson was thinking. The bunt wasn't too far out. Tried to go home with it. Probably should have thrown it to first, though, huh? Yeah, with 2 away. Probably should have just taken the guaranteed out at first. But good job by Skinner getting under the tag and scoring the run for the Pirates. Now we have a meeting on the mound for Malakoff, as the Pirates now take a 1-0 lead here in the first game of this Brook Hill tournament. My Pops is tuned in for a minute. I know he's at work, so I don't want him getting in trouble, but thanks, Pops, for tuning in. Checking it out as the umpire has to go out there and break up the meeting of the minds on the mound. So it's going to bring up McMillan, the catcher for the Pirates. He struck out swinging in the first inning. He's going to be batting now with a runner on first base and 2 away. Just inside there for ball number 1. One ball, no strikes to McMillan. Umpire steps out. Now we're back ready. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch inside, and that hits him in the back. Second hit batter of the game. And this is going to move Aranda over to second, and he'll put McMillan at first base with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And it brings up to the plate the cleanup hitter for Pine Tree and the pitcher, Cates. He has a big opportunity here to help himself out with 2 on and 2 away in the bottom of the 3rd. And first pitch is popped up, fouled out of play behind us into the parking lot where hopefully nobody's car gets hit today. Specifically a red car back there. We're hoping that one doesn't get hit. No balls or 1 strike. The pitch, that's hit into fair play now. Shallow center field. Phillips is coming on and squeezes it for out number 3. But Pine Tree strikes first here in the bottom of the 3rd, and they now lead Malakoff 1-0. We're headed to the 4th inning. Be right back here on NETsn. Back here at Harrington Field on the campus of Brook Hill, home of the Guard. Top of the fourth inning between Malakoff and Pine Tree. The Pirates lead the Tigers 1-0. Due up for Malakoff here is the 3-4-5 hitters of Jones, Tennyson, and Jedlicka. And ball one is delivered in there to begin this fourth inning of play. Mike Jones, the shortstop, leading things off here in the fourth inning. And he takes ball two. So 2 balls and no strikes to Mike Jones. Who? I was wondering if anybody else was going to catch it. The 2-0. Just tie ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes to Mr. Jones. That's another Mike Jones song. See what? 3 balls and no strikes. The pitch from Cates. Catches the outside corner for strike 1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Mostly cloudy sky here this morning in Brook Hill. The temperature, though, 70 degrees. Not too bad. 3 balls, 1 strike. That's hit towards right center field. That may be a gapper, and it is going to gap the right center fielder. Rounding first, headed towards second is Jones, and he's going to pull up at second with a leadoff double. Nice job by Mike Jones there, working the count into his favor. And roping that one to the right center field wall. It gapped Brown and Nafrady out there in center. And it's going to bring up the left fielder, Jason Tennyson. Tennyson walked back in the second inning, but he was thrown out trying to steal second base. So good opportunity here for Malakoff to answer right back with a run of their own. First pitch on the way to Tennyson. Swing and a miss. He didn't make contact with it. It's not a foul ball, and he's rounding third, coming home. The play at the plate, he's safe. What an outstanding job by Mike Jones of scoring all the way from second on a swing and a miss. You don't see that often. Mike Jones took off from second base after the swing and a miss by Tennyson. The catcher, McMillan, couldn't find it. It rolled all the way to the backstop to the left side. And Jones, to his credit, never stopped running and scores there. So we're tied at 1. Wow. Have you ever seen somebody score from second on a swing and a miss? You have? Oh, okay. So that happens more often than I think then.
I saw it on a bigger backstop.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, if there's a lot of room, yeah, that 1 ball and 1 strike. That misses there. 2 balls and 1 strike. I don't know if I've seen that. I know at Tom Brady Field over in Quitman, they have a huge, like 60 feet, maybe 50 feet backstop. So that would make sense there. But yeah, that was interesting. Heads up play by Jones. 2-1 count. And just hits the outside corner for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Nobody on base. The 2-2 count. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Tennyson goes down swinging, but during his at-bat, his team scored. So I guess a positive at-bat for him. 1 away. And it's going to bring up the pitcher, Jackson Jedlicka. He sacrificed himself last time to advance Tennyson. Jackson checks his swing for strike number 1. Just 2 hits on the morning for Malakoff. The 0-1 in the turf for ball 1. Malakoff, if you remember a couple of years ago, 2021, they actually won the 3A baseball state championship. 1-1. Cates with the pitch. Misses low, ball 2. Two balls, 1 strike. Pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. So a 2-2 count. 2-2 count for Cates. Cates looks at his wristband, and Jackson says, "You're taking too long," and steps out of the box. Central Heights players, it's all up in front of me. I can't see what's going on. It swung on and missed. Strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts for Cates on the mound after giving up a leadoff double where Jones came around to score. He has now struck out 2 in a row. And he'll bring up the designated hitter, number 2, Gus McGee. Now with 2 away here in the top half of the 4th inning. Still nobody on base. And a 1-1 tie between Malakoff and Pine Tree. First pitch to McGee. Called. Strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike to McGee. The 0-1. Cates might need to get a little tighter hat there. His hat keeps falling off his head every time he throws a pitch. Or maybe he's just putting that much effort behind it. I don't know. 1 ball and 1 strike to McGee. Cates with the pitch. Ooh. McMillan held it there to try and get the call, but the ump says no. 2 balls and 1 strike now. The 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Big swing by McGee. And Cates here is looking to strike out 3 in a row after giving up that leadoff double to Jones. We'll see what he has planned here on this 2-2 count with 2 away and nobody on in the top of the 4th. Just a bit outside. McMillan thought that was strike 3. Instead, it's ball 3. So we'll try it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count with 2 away. Payoff pitch is, that's a foul, just foul. I thought it might have hopped over that third base bag and stayed fair, but it's going to be just foul there. So McGee will come back and we'll try it again with a 3-2 count and a 1-1 tie here in the top half of the 4th. Now, since this is a tournament game, we don't necessarily have to play 7 innings. 7 innings or time limit, whatever comes first. Payoff pitch in the turf, ball 4. So Cates loses him there. And it'll put McGee on first base with 2 away and bring up the catcher, Loden Jamison, who struck out swinging to end the 2nd inning. So runner on first, 2 away here in the top of the 4th. In steps Jamison. He's 0 for 1 this morning. That ball is high from Cates. So ball 1 to Jamison. Cates checks the runner, the 1-0 inside. It's ball number 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Jamison, the catcher for the Tigers. Cates on the mound for the Pirates. Had a good little run of striking out 2 in a row as that one swung on a miss. Throw down to first. Nice scoop at first base by Bush to not let that one go out in the right field. It's a strike. So it'll be 2 balls and 1 strike now. Cates gets back on the rubber. The 2-1 pitch after he checks the runner a couple, 3 times. Just misses there. 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Mike Jones led off this inning with a double, came around to score. Tennyson struck out. Jedlicka struck out. McGee walked. Now Jamison ahead in the count, 3 balls, 1 strike. Misses there. Back-to-back walks will put 2 runners on for Malakoff. And Judson McNaughton is going to step in, but not before we have a visit to the mound. All right, after the visit to the mound, we'll see what Cates has in store for us here. Judson McNaughton steps in. He singled back in the 3rd inning. He led off the 3rd with a single, but he was stranded at first base, and he takes ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to McNaughton, the first baseman for the Tigers. Malakoff with 2 runners on, runner on first and second. 2 away here in the top of the 4th in a 1-1 game. Cates cannot find the strike zone right now as that one misses. 2 balls and no strikes. I guess the silver lining here is you're at the bottom of the order, but you definitely don't want to load up the bases, or this 1-run inning could turn into a huge inning for Malakoff. The 2-0. 3-0. Misses there again. So Cates, after the visit to the mound, falls behind 3-0 to the 8-hole hitter, Judson McNaughton. Cates with the 3-0 pitch. I mean, a 4-pitch walk right there. 3 walks in a row will load up the bases for the Tigers and bring up the 9-hole hitter, Caden Holyfield. So Holyfield with a big opportunity here with the bases juiced. And 2 away. Holyfield flew out to left field back in the 3rd inning for out number 1. He's up now with the bases loaded, 2 away. Holyfield, there's a strike from Cates. He found it after 6 balls in a row. He found the strike zone there on 0-1 count now. And that's strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes to Holyfield. So a good bounce back from Cates. Trying to work out of a jam here in the top half of the 4th inning. Cates comes set. The 0-2 pitch. That's popped up to shallow right field. Could be trouble. A diving attempt that's going to fall. 1 run scores. 2 runs score. 2 Tigers come across a 2-run double for Caden Holyfield. And Malakoff takes a 3-1 lead. It's one of those little Texas leaguers right there, kind of where nobody could get to it. It was in the triangle between first, second, and right field. Nobody could get to it. Great diving attempt by Dorberg at the second base, but he comes up short. So now runners at second and third, and the leadoff hitter, Corey Phillips, steps back into the box and takes strike number 1. So 3-1 now the lead for Malakoff. With runners at second and third, it's still 2 away. That one, good stop behind the plate by McMillan. Let's keep that one from getting away from him. 1 ball and 1 strike now. Phillips is 1 for 2 today. He singled back in the first inning and struck out swinging last inning. 1 ball and 1 strike. Corey Phillips. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Phillips. A rough inning on the mound for Cates. He had only given up 2 hits prior to this inning and no runs, and he's given up 3 runs in this inning alone, 3 walks as well. The 1-2, that's high, ball 2. This inning all started with the 3-hole hitter, Mike Jones. He came around to score. This is the 8th batter of the inning right here, Corey Phillips. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cates, the pitch. That's hit towards third base. Foul. Now Aranda just lets it roll out into the left field area. I tell you, this air conditioner here was a good investment. It's 70 degrees outside, which isn't bad, but it would be a little stuffy in here, especially with me spewing all this hot air around. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. That's fouled off to the right side. So Phillips doing a good job of fighting here, trying to stay alive in this at-bat. Two balls, 2 strikes to Phillips. Cates, the pitch. That's fouled off to the left side. Judson McNaughton did a little do-si-do over there to not get hit by that ball. Still a 2-2 count with 2 away and 2 on. Deuces are wild. Cates with the 2-2 pitch. Misses. Ball 3. I think there's been a change of philosophy here for these Malakoff hitters. They are a lot more patient at the plate. And Cates, truthfully, just having a hard time finding the strike zone. But got to give credit to Malakoff, too, for forcing Cates to work and throw a lot of pitches. 3 balls, 2 strikes, inside, ball 4. And that will load up the bases once again for Malakoff. And it'll bring up the 9th batter of the inning, Jack Husted, the second baseman. And we have a visit to the mound coming up, and I think that's going to be the end of the line for Cates. And he is. He's calling in the right fielder, Brown. Talk about that when we come back. It's a 3-1 lead for Malakoff with 2 away here in the top of the 4th. New pitcher on the mound for Pine Tree. It's going to be who was the right fielder, Brown. You have to apologize. I don't have any first names for any of these Pine Tree kids, but Brown is coming in to pitch, and they brought in Nichols off the bench to go to right field. Aranda, who was playing at third base, is now at second base, and Cates, I believe, who was pitching, is now at third. No, Cates is at short, and Gidden moved over to third. So Gidden at third, and Cates at short. And I think that's right. We'll see. Up to bat is Jack Husted. He popped out to short to end the third inning, and he is coming up to bat with the bases loaded and 2 away here in the top half of the fourth, and a 3-1 lead for the Malakoff Tigers. The umpire telling the Tiger dugout something. So Husted steps in now, bases loaded. First pitch from Brown is hit towards third base, and just moving over to third is Giddens, and he's going to make the play for out number 3. I mean, that's efficiency at its finest right there. 1 pitch, 1 out, and you get out of the inning. 3-1 as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Malakoff leads Pine Tree. Back here ready to go at Brook Hill, home of the Guard. Showtime. No balls, 1 strike to Bush. Bush leading things off for the Pirates, who are now trailing 3-1 to Malakoff. Malakoff had a big top half of the inning. I say big. It was 3 runs on just 2 hits and 3 runners left on, but there were 4 walks in that inning. And now it is Bush, Doberg, and Nefrady due up for – nope, not Doberg, because Nichols has come in for him. He's on deck. So Nichols is actually going to be on deck. But it's a 1-1 count to Bush. Bush fouls that one off to the net. I'm just worried about my I'm glad they're fouling it off that way and not to this camera right here. Could easily be shattered. 1-2. That's hit towards foul territory. And that's going to be a souvenir for the construction workers over there. What's being built right there?
That is our new fine arts building.
New fine arts building.
We did a capital campaign and raised $29 million.
Ooh.
So that is going to have an 800-person auditorium, black box theater, 12 classrooms, and a robotics and science lab.
Oh, my gosh.
And then we have brand new tennis courts being built down there. The 8 tennis courts, including 2 pickleball courts. We got brand new turf on the football field, and
Goodness gracious, there's a lot of stuff going on at Brook Hill. Big things happening over at Brook Hill. That's awesome, man. Fine arts building. Man, this is my first time really being to Brook Hill, and that one's fouled off again. First time really being here. When I first pulled up, I said, this looks like a college campus.
Yeah. It's nice.
Matter of fact, my college I went to didn't look like it wasn't this nice.
My wife is actually the boarding nurse, so we live on campus.
Man, that's
She takes care of 121 boarding kids from 30 different countries.
wow. That's hit back towards short. Jones going to field it at short. Fires across the diamond for out number 2. Bush struck out swinging to begin the inning. And that's a ground ball out by Nichols. 6-3 put out for out number 2. And it's going to bring up the center fielder, Nafrady, with 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And Pine Tree down by 2 runs here. First pitch to Nafrady is inside for ball 1. One ball, no strikes to Nafrady. The 1-0. That's popped up foul. Yeah, that's definitely a car. Well, my car is parked more back this way. Yeah, I'm good right there. That's I might need to go move it here in between games, though. The 1-1 fouled back. Strike 2. Yes, there is another game coming up right after this one. Probably, about 20-minute break in between? 20-minute break in between. So the 1-2 swung on and missed, and they're not even letting me talk up here because he's striking people out. Strike 3. 3 up, 3 down. For the bottom of the 4th, we're headed to the 5th. And Malakoff leads Pine Tree 3-1. All right, welcome back. Top of the 5th inning underway. And it starts with a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to the leadoff hitter for this inning, Mike Jones. He led off the last inning, and he came around to score from second base on a swing and a miss. That one's roped towards center field, and it's going to drop in front of the center fielder for a leadoff single. So Mike Jones. Mike Jones reaches first base on a single, and he begins this inning the same way he began the last inning, by reaching base. Jason Tennyson stepping into the box now, the right-handed hitter. He is walked and struck out swinging in his 2 at-bats. Pickoff attempt towards first, but Jones gets back in. Brown pitching. He came in for Cates last inning. Cates had a rough inning, walked 4 in that inning, gave up 3 runs. First pitch on the way now to Tennyson. Swung on and missed for strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Brown checks the runner Jones at first base. And the 0-1. That's hit towards shortstop. Backhanded snag at short by Cates. But he's going to have nowhere to go with it. So an infield single for Jason Tennyson. And it puts 2 runners on for the Tigers now. And they are already looking to make this inning a big one. Nobody out. 2 on, and in steps the pitcher, Jackson Jedlicka. He sacrificed in the second inning and struck out swinging in the 4th. First pitch from Brown. Jackson squares around, bunts it, foul. Looks like Brown, when he came into pitch, has definitely some less speed on his pitches than Cates had to begin the game. Malakoff trying to adjust to the difference of speed. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 runners on base. Pickoff attempt towards second. And Jones gets back in. Malakoff leading Pine Tree 3-1. This is the opening game of the Brook Hill tournament here on the campus of Brook Hill High School. The 0-1 pitch. That's a bunt attempt. It's butted down the third base line. Going to be fielded by Giddens. And the ball's knocked out at first base. It rolls into right field. 1 Tiger's going to score. Tennyson's rounding third. He's going to come in and score standing up as well. 2 runs come in for the Tigers as they take a now 5-1 lead on top of Pine Tree. That's an interesting play. Giddens there threw it to first base, and it looks like it came out of the hand of Bush. Put an E1 on that, or E3, excuse me. But 2 runs come across for the Tigers. They now lead 5-1. And a runner at second base. And Gus McGee stepping into bat now. And actually we're going to have a meeting. We're going to have a meeting for Pine Tree as they now trail 5-1. All right, after the meeting on the mound, getting ready to get back underway here. With nobody out and a runner at second, a 5-1 lead for Malakoff. First pitch is in there for strike number 1 to the designated hitter, Gus McGee. No balls, 1 strike now. Sun trying to peek through the clouds here in Bullard. The 0-1. That is a slow one in there for strike number 2. A dime dropper. Yeah, that one was looked like it was just floating across the plate. I wanted to swing from up here, but my bat doesn't work. No balls and 2 strikes. Brown comes set on the mound, checks the runner at second, and throws it in the opposing batter box. Ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. McGee walked his last at bat and came in to score. He also reached out a fielder's choice back in the second inning, so he's been on base both times he's been up. 1 ball, 2 strikes with nobody out. Oh, a check swing there. That's a dead ball. It's a check swing. And I believe he fouled it off is what they're going to say. And the Malakoff base runner going to have to trot back over towards second base. Oh, they call it a strike 3. Okay. So a strikeout of McGee. That's an interesting looking strikeout. But all right. Out number 1 here in the top half of the 5th. Stepping in now, Loden Jamison, the catcher for the Tigers. He takes strike 1 on the inside corner. Jamison has struck out swinging, and he also walked and came around to score back in the 4th inning. Wyatt Wallace is courtesy running out there at second base for the pitcher, as that one misses inside for ball number 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jamison with 1 away. Here in the top half of the 5th, the Tigers of Malakoff lead Pine Tree 5-1. That's a called strike on the outside corner for strike 2. One ball and 2 strikes now to Jamison, the catcher for the Tigers. Brown steps back on the mound, gets ready for his 1-2 pitch. That's hit towards short. Kate's going to field it deep in the hole, fires across the diamond, and gets him at first. Throw back across to third, gets past the third baseman. Wallace trying to come in to score, play at the plate, no play at the plate. Wallace scores on the throwing error by Bush. And it's going to make it a 6-1 lead for Malakoff. So Jamison is out on the 6-3 putout for out number 2. Wallace, who was courtesy running for the pitcher Jackson Jedlicka, he comes around to score on a throwing error by Bush over at first base. They got past the third baseman. And so now with 2 away, that one's hit. That's a foul ball. That's what I said. Okay. So now it's a 6-1 lead for the Tigers. And nobody on base with 2 away. Top of the 5th inning. And an 0-1 count to Judson McNaughton. He has walked and singled. He pops that one up in foul territory near the Malakoff dugout. Jamison slides over near the wall. Or excuse me, Millen slides over near the wall, near the Malakoff dugout. Can't make the catch. Great effort, though. And it's going to be an 0-2 count now. I'm thinking we probably got about 30 more minutes left to game time. about 30 more minutes. 6-1 the lead for Malakoff. First game of this Brook Hill tournament. They'll have games for you all day today, tomorrow, and Saturday. We'll talk about that schedule coming up. The 0-2. McNaughton fouls that one off to the right side. Out of play. The next game coming up, though, I can tell you, will be Central Heights taking on this Pine Tree team. Central Heights Blue Devils. That game, first pitch scheduled for that one at 11:45. So stick around right here on NETsn. We'll have the game for you. The 0-2 in the turf, ball one. One-two pitch misses outside for ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Two balls, 2 strikes. Pitch swung on and missed for strike number 3. It's 6-1 Malakoff as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. We're back ready for play here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's the 8-9-1 due up for Pine Tree. First pitch swinging by Skinner, fouled off to the right side. So strike one. It's Skinner, Brown, and Gidden due up for Pine Tree here, trailing by 5 runs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Time legitimately running out on Pine Tree in this game. But that's okay. They'll have another opportunity right after this game as they take on Central Heights. They'll get a little brief break in between games. The 1-1, that's hit towards right center field. Looks like Phillips moving over to his left in the gap is going to make the catch out there in center field for out number 1. Five in a row retired by Jackson Jedlicka on the mound. It's going to bring up Brown now, who is pitching for Pine Tree. He started out in right field, and that's strike number 1 to Brown. That one misses. I think I missed it. I think it missed. 1-1. And quickly the pitch. That's roped right back up the middle. It's going to fall into center field, and Brown is on with a 1-out single here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So Brown stayed on that one, sent it right back from where it came. And now the top of the order comes up. Gidden, who is now playing third base. He has flown out to center, popped out to short in his 2 at-bats. He's going to be batting now with a runner on first base and 1 away. First pitch is in the turf, gets away from Jamison. And Brown's going to scoot over to second base. So 1 ball, no strikes to Gidden with a runner at second base now for the Pirates. That one's low, ball 2. So 2 balls, no strikes now. 2-0 pitch. Misses high, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes to Gidden with a runner out at second base. And that's called strike on the outside corner. Strike 1. 3 balls and 1 strike. That's hit towards left field. Tennyson comes in on it and then goes back a step and makes the catch for out number 3. Or 2, excuse me. That was a hard hit ball by Gidden, but hit it right towards Tennyson. So 2 away now, and it'll bring up Aranda, the second baseman now. The runner still at second base with 2 away. Bottom of the 5th inning, Malakoff leading Pine Tree by 5 runs, 6-1. First pitch is inside for ball 1. Now Aranda was hit by a pitch, and he had an RBI single back in the 3rd. The 1-0, make that 2-0. Two balls, no strikes to Aranda. Jackson, the pitch. That's hit softly towards third base. Jones comes up, fires across the diamond. Wild throw. Gets past the first baseman. Pirates are going to score a run. That's going to be an E5 on Z Jones. That'll put Aranda at first base, and it'll bring in Brown on the throwing error. So now it's a 6-2 lead for Malakoff. And we're going to have a meeting on the mound now. But 6-2 is the score with a runner at second and 2 away, and we have a meeting. All right, after the meeting on the mound, Jedlicka fires it in for ball 1. McMillan is up to bat for the Pirates. It's a 1 ball, no strike count. Jackson throws that one behind the back of McMillan, and a throw down to first nearly gets Aranda creeping over there, but instead it'll be a 2-0 count to McMillan. With a runner on first base and 2 away here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, a 6-2 lead for Malakoff on top of Pine Tree. The 2-0, that does hit him. I mean, all 3 of those pitches were really close, and that's actually the second at-bat in a row that McMillan's been hit by a pitch. I don't know what he did to these Malakoff pitchers, but they are not fans of him. So that'll put a runner on first and second now with 2 away. And it'll bring up to bat the cleanup hitter, Cates. Cates started this game on the mound for the Pirates. He exited in the 4th inning, and it's strike 1 to Cates with 2 on and 2 away. The 0-1 pitch. is another called strike. Looked like the exact same location from Jackson Jedlicka. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So Cates had a big opportunity right there and went down on 3 pitches. But Pine Tree does put another run on the board. We're headed to the 6th inning. It's 6-2 Malakoff on top of Pine Tree. And welcome back. The top of the 6th inning, Malakoff has their 9-1-2 hitters due up here in the top of the 6th, leading 6-2. It's Caden Holyfield who takes ball 1 from Brown, who's pitching for Pine Tree. Holyfield, Phillips, and Husted due up for Malakoff. And that one breaks a little too far inside. It's ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Oh, we got some radio coming in for the next game. Look at that. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. I don't think there's room for them up here in this. And no, just us two. No more room in the inn up here. 2 balls and 1 strike. He's fancy, though. He's got a radar gun and everything. That's what we need. Yeah. Well, look, we're not struggling. I got my own little, yeah. I got my own router, too. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one's popped up towards the left side, shallow center field. Actually, shortstop's going to go back on it. That's Cates. Drifts back into shallow center and snags it for out number 1. So 1 away here in the top of the 6th inning. And we got probably about 15 more minutes of game time remaining. So Corey Phillips steps in, and that one, I mean, he should have just leaned into that one a little bit. Wear it, kid. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Big swing and a miss from Corey Phillips. He wanted that one. Came up empty, though. Phillips had a pretty decent ball game at the plate. He singled back in the 1st inning, struck out swinging and walked. So he's been on base 2 out of 3 at bats. 1-1 count. Brown, the pitch. Oh, pokes that one foul for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. The pitch. Outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brown with the 2-2 pitch. That misses for ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. A full count with 1 away here in the top of the 6th inning. A 6-2 lead for the Tigers. Payoff pitch. Ooh, swung on and missed, and I know that's something we could see up here. That was some miscommunication, though. The catcher set up outside. Brown's pitch went all the way inside, and Phillips swung on and missed his 2nd strikeout of the morning. 2nd out of the inning. It's going to bring up Jack Husted. It's one of those where the pitcher misses his location, but it works out. Husted now has popped out to short and grounded out to 3rd base to end the 4th inning. And he takes ball 1 with 2 away here and nobody on base. Oh, man. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. One. Misses outside, ball 2. Brown wanted it. Did not get the call. 2 balls and 1 strike now. Two 1 pitch. That misses ball 3. So 3 balls and 1 strike. The 3-1 pitch from Brown misses inside, ball 4. That's really been the problem for Pine Tree today. They've gotten off to good starts in the inning, and for whatever reason, whether it be Malakoff making them work a little more or Pine Tree just missing their spots, start giving up some walks, and that's where they get in trouble. That's what happened in that 4th inning. They had 4 walks when Malakoff plated 3 runs. Mike Jones fouls that one off. I was waiting for my who. You need. Jones has had a good game today. He's doubled and singled, came around to score both times. He actually scored from 2nd base on a swing and a miss. I know. It's crazy. The 0-1. That one's low. Ball 1. Runner at first is Husted with 2 away. Top of the 6th inning. Malakoff plated 3 runs in each of the previous 2 innings. That one misses ball 2. Malakoff and Pine Tree both tied at 0 as we headed into the 3rd. Pine Tree got a run in the 3rd to make it 1-0. Then Malakoff with 3 in the 4th and 3 in the 5th. And now 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitch from Brown is fouled off to the left side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And 2 away with a runner at first base for the Tigers. Stick around after this game. In about 30 minutes, we'll have Pine Tree and Central Heights baseball action for you here on NETsn, so make sure you stay tuned for that. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch from Brown. Nope, pickoff attempt. Think maybe they're aware of the time. Maybe they're trying to milk it. But Pine Tree's home, so yeah. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's roped foul. And we'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brown stepping back on the rubber, getting ready for this 2-2 pitch to Jones. Nope. Pickoff attempt towards first. The 2-2 misses. Ball 3. Again, another good at bat by these Tiger hitters. A full count. That sat on and hit high towards left field. Skinner camps under it and squeezes it for out number 3. So we'll head to the bottom half of the 6th inning in a 6-2 lead for the Malakoff Tigers. And bottom of the 6th underway as we have a new pitcher on the mound for Malakoff. It's 0-1 count. It's a 0-2 count. Fires in 2 strikes to Bush, leading things off for Pine Tree. The new pitcher is Asa Mondragon. Mondragon? Either way, he strikes him out there on 3 pitches to Bush. Now they may be just trying to say, hey, you know what? Let's just wrap this thing up here. Doyberg back in now for Pine Tree. He came out for Nichols earlier. What is it? Oh, my bad. I thought you knew his name or something. My bad, because I couldn't read his name. No balls and 1 strike. These Malakoff pitchers work quickly on the mound. That misses for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike now with 1 away. That one's low. Ball. Nope, actually, it was low, but Doyberg tried to check his swing and did not check it. He went around. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now. The 1-2 pitch. Oof. That looked better than the other ones, and that's a ball. 1 ball and nope, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Excuse me, 2 balls, 2 strikes. That breaking pitch misses as well. A full count. Full count to Dorberg. Breaking ball called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for the new pitcher for the Tigers. And it is 2 away now. I would venture to say that we are 1 out away from this game being called, as we are nearing the time limit here for this tournament game. That's a strike as well. All right. I try not to be too critical up here because I'm not right behind the plate, but when it looks like it's in the other batter's box, that one's popped. Oh, no. That one's popped up. Oh, okay. It landed in between the baseball and softball field here. No cars were harmed in that one. Strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. That's hit towards third. It's going to be fielded by Jones. Fired across the diamond for out number 3. And is that going to – yep, I think – is that – yep, that's the ball game. All right. So 6-2 is the final. Malakoff defeats Pine Tree. And we are going to go ahead and wrap up this broadcast, but come back with us in about 20 minutes or so, and we'll have Central Heights taking on Pine Tree. Thanks for watching high school baseball here on NETsn.